Here's a video to walk you through how to create an external user in Ops Insights. So I'm currently logged in as a client admin user, which is a user that's responsible for overseeing and managing users in an Ops Insights account. And they're also responsible for assigning reports to those users. And I'm in a demo account here. And the first thing you'll need to do is when you log in is on the left-hand navigation bar, go down and find users. Click on users, and this is what appears. So this is the users listing here. And when the page initially loads, it's going to load in any enabled internal user that's currently in the account. So in Ops Insights, there are two types of users. There's internal users and there's an external user. An internal user is any user that works for your company and is employed by your company. An external user is any user that works with your company in some fashion, whether that's a client, a vendor, an investor, something along those lines. So those are the two types of users that exist or are available in Ops Insights. Obviously, if we want to see any external users that are in your account, we need to toggle the show external user switch value over to yes. And doing so, that will reveal any external user that's enabled in your account. Obviously, if we want to see any external users that have been disabled, we can toggle this show disabled switch value over to yes as well. One thing you'll notice is that any external user is going to be denoted by this external flag or box here. So it's very easy to see or point out, hey, these are our external users that currently exist in the system. So now that we have been able to find or view all of the external users, we'll go ahead and create one during the demo here. It's very easy to do. We're going to click on Create New User. The first thing we'll need to do is we'll need to make sure we have selected the correct user type. So it's going to load by default an internal user, but we'll need to make sure that we toggle this over to external. And then from there, we'll need to fill out this form. You'll just need a few points of contact or just a few pieces of information to create this user. We'll need to know their first and last name, email address, their phone number, and what their job title is. So we're going to go demo user, and then we're going to go demo at abc.com. Now, it is important to point out when creating an external user, you must enter an email address that is not one of your current domains. So, for instance, let's say this is a Resware demo account here. So we're going to try and create this user with Resware demo, just showing you demo. And then what happens if we try to create an external user with an internal domain? It's basically a warning message is going to pop up. It's going to say, hey, you're trying to create an external user with someone with an internal domain. Try a domain or an email address that is not currently part of your company. So that's just wanted to point that out, because if a user has their a domain under your company, chances are they work for your company. And we want to make sure that those are internal users, because internal users are going to have a few more features that are available to them. So it's important to point out, if they do work for your company, chances are you're going to want to make sure that they have an internal user. And external users are basically just going to be able to see reports on their dashboard. They're going to be able to see, receive emails, report emails, automated deliveries is what they're referred to in Ops Insights. So the features that are available to external users are slightly pared down from what you would receive as a normal internal user. So just wanted to point that out. So we're just going to enter some email domain here, just so that we can create this user. Phone number, we're just going to enter some fictitious phone number, and then for demo purposes, and then the job title, we're just going to go with demo. Now, it's very important to point out when we're creating any user in Ops Insights, whether it's an internal or an external user, you want to make sure that you have a role in mind that you're going to assign to this user, or you've gone ahead and created whatever role or roles that you want to assign to this user in the system already. Because if we create a user without assigning a role, they'll receive an activation link. They'll activate their account, but when they log in, nothing will be on their dashboard. So that's a bad user experience. And, especially if they're work with you externally, chances are they're probably not going to come back if they've logged in, they've received the activation, they've done all that stuff, and then they log in and they receive an empty dashboard. They'll either think it's broken or, it's not applicable to them. So instead of creating the user first and then assigning the role, you want to do that and flip that order over and create the role first and then create the user so that they have a good experience when they log in for the very first time. It's also important to point out that when we select a role to assign to this external user, we're just going to see any external roles. So if you don't have external roles in your account, or if you're creating a role for this user, you'll need to make sure that that role is an external role. So we're just going to select, we'll just go with demo client company here. You can select one or many here. So if you have investors and you want to share some operational metrics with them, or if you want to share some revenue metrics with them, or however you want to pair it up, or you can do it in any way, shape, or form. So that's the great thing about roles. They're very extensible. You can assign any report that you want to the role, and then assign that role to those users. So if you do have questions about roles or need additional more understanding about how they work and role strategy or anything of that nature, you can take a look at our roles section of the Ops Insights documentation site, or you can reach out to our support team, support@opsinsights.com. But just for this demonstration, we've just selected a role that existed in our company or in our account, and then we're just going to go create new user. So it's going to take a moment to create. What's happening behind the scenes is the records are being created, the reports are being assigned to the user. We're emailing the user an email to activate their account. And then once it's done, we'll receive an option of create another user or continue. We'll just go with continue here. And then we'll be redirected back to the users section. And if we want to see the user that we just created, we can create it here or click show external users. And this is the user we just created, demo user, the job title demo, and then demo@abctesting.com. So this is the new user we just created. If you have questions about users, creating external users, roles, anything along those lines, see the user section of the Ops Insights documentation site, or the role section of the Ops Insights documentation site. Or if you have anything other above and beyond that the documentation site has not answered, reach out to our support team, support@opsinsights.com. Thanks. We look forward to hearing from you.